Hello, Girl Scouts. Hang on one second. Let me get my phone set up here. All right. All right, girls. So today we are going to make foaming fake snow. I thought it is July. It is supposed to be 100 degrees in Sydney today. So why not make some foaming fake snow? So to do this, you are going to need a couple of things that you probably have around your house. You're going to need some baking soda. I have the big box. We're going to need 2 cups. You're going to need dish soap. You are going to need some measuring cups, a 1 cup, a teaspoon, and a tablespoon. You're going to need 2 clear containers. You're going to need white vinegar, and you're going to need some water. All right, so on one of your clear containers, I want you to take a sticky note and I want you to write soap. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of a glare because of the sun. Just write soap and just stick it on that container, just so you know which one is which, okay? Because we're gonna do a little experiment here. All right, first things first, we're gonna put the soap container out of the way for now. You're gonna take your baking soda and you're gonna measure out 1 cup, okay? I don't know, this might take me a minute because I'm trying to pour it out of the little opening here. I didn't want to destroy the box and make a huge mess. I'm also going to be covered in baking soda, I think, because there's just enough of a breeze to blow it out on me. I am actually outside on my patio. You guys can probably hear the birds. They're squawking at me up there. It's taking forever. Hold on. Let me try to get this box open a little bit farther, you guys. It's just not wanting to pour very good. All right, let's try that. Okay, much better. All right. So you're going to take 1 cup of baking soda and you're just going to pour it in your container. Okay. And then, oh, there's a blue jay. Then you're going to take 3 tablespoons of water. And you are going to add it to your baking soda. 1. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing okay. 2, 3. And then you are just going to mix that up. And it's going to turn kind of into a dough. It really, surprisingly, resembles snow. I don't know if you guys can see that. It just kind of clumps up. It isn't really cold like snow. I mean, I use room temperature water. I guess if you use cold water, you could have cold snow. All right, so it's just going to clump up, okay? You just kind of have a dough that you can mold and form. So I don't know, make something out of your dough. You can make a snowman, make a mountain, whatever you feel like making, okay? I think I'm going to add a little tiny bit more water to mine. Fair warning, you are going to have baking soda snow underneath your fingernails, just so you know. All right, I want mine to clump a little bit better. It's not sticking together very good. So, all right, that'll work. I might try to make a snowman out of mine. We'll see if it'll hold. 1 little ball. I think he might just be he might be a 3-ball snowman. We'll see here. I don't know about you guys. I have never actually even made a snowman in real life. I have no idea why. Maybe I should put that on my bucket list for this winter. What do you guys think? All right. 3rd little snowball. I think I'm going to add a tiny bit of water to this one. This was the snow from the bottom of the, oh yeah, much better. I should have brought some paper towels. All right. I don't know if you can see him, but there is my little snowman. Okay. So we're going to set that guy aside. And then we're going to take this one, the one that says soap on it. Oh, I need to scroll on my computer and my fingers are gross. Let's go like this. Okay. So for this one, we're going to do the same, a cup of baking soda. Okay. And I just poured water all over my table. You definitely want to do this in a space where it doesn't matter if you make a mess, which is part of the reason I am outside. Plus my husband's inside, and it just feels a little weird when I'm recording a video to have someone in the other room eavesdropping. All right, so I've got my cup of baking soda. I'm gonna dump that in the bottom of my soap container. Okay, and then I'm going to do a teaspoon of dish soap. So this is different than the other recipe, guys, because we're gonna add a teaspoon of dish soap. And we are gonna see how this changes our snow, okay? And then we're gonna do 3 more tablespoons of water. So 1, I hope you guys can see okay, 2, 3. So as you're mixing this one up and making your snow, kind of make note of if the dough feels different, does it have a different texture? What's different about the dough? I notice it's a little bit stickier. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit stickier. I feel like I can probably make a little bit better snowman out of this. I do think I need a little bit more water. The birds are not happy with me out here. There's some nests up in my trees, and I think probably they think I'm gonna bother their babies. Yeah, this dough is definitely a different consistency. It's less, it doesn't break apart as easy. Like it's definitely just, it clumps together better, it's smoother. It smells good too because I put real citrus extract dish soap in it. So out of this one, make something else. You can make another snowman if you want, or whatever you want, you guys. So I might have gotten a little too much water because this dough is very, it doesn't hold its shape quite as well. All right. My hands are a mess. Didn't bring any napkins out. All right, there's my second little snowball. And I'm gonna make my third little snowball. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different texture, you guys. Like it sticks together better. All right, so there's my second snowman. If you want to, you can decorate these, totally up to you. So what we're gonna do, I've got baking soda on my computer, you guys. All right. Now, what we're gonna do is we are gonna melt these. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna melt them with vinegar. And then we're gonna see the difference between the baking soda and water and the baking soda soap and water recipe. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna rinse my hands off a little bit. All right. Sorry, guys. I was pretty messy. All right. So now you've got your distilled white vinegar. And the first one we're going to do is the not soap one. So the first one we made, we're going to melt him first. He's staying together pretty good. He's pretty solid. He's kind of starting to dry out a little bit, I think. What do you think is going to happen when we pour vinegar over this? I think maybe it's gonna fizz. Maybe I'm gonna see some bubbles. I'm not sure, and I don't know how well you'll be able to hear, but I will try. So hopefully you can hear. So it definitely fizzed and it's bubbling like crazy. And it definitely is melting the snow. See all that? See all the bubbles? Okay. Now we're going to take the soap one, and we're going to do the same thing to it. Ready? So it creates a lot of bubbles, you guys. Look at all those bubbles. That is insane. It didn't melt it as much, but it really made some amazing bubbles in there. There's a huge difference between the not soap and the soap. The not soap one, it fizzed and bubbled and kind of came apart, but it's just watery in the bottom. This one actually made some really good soap suds and bubbles. Like it almost filled up my bowl. So why do you think that happened? Let's talk about that for a minute. Let me get down here. All right. So both of them fizzed when the vinegar touched them, and that's because when the vinegar comes in contact with the baking soda, the two chemicals react. The result is a gas that bubbles up in your solution. The bubbles create the fizzing and the fizz and the sizzling sound. Whatever was left of your first creation without the soap was probably standing in a pool of bubbly water, which is exactly what happened. The bubbles burst open as they reached the surface on this one. In the other container, the leftovers, they had dishwashing soap mixed into it, were probably surrounded by a layer of white foam, and they still are. It's starting to dissolve, but there is definitely a lot of white bubbly foam in there. Chemicals in the detergent, the soap that we put in the recipe, allow the soapy solution to spread out. The bubbles that were created in that chemical reaction still rose to the surface and made the bubbling sound, but the soap trapped the bubbles, which formed a foam. So the bubbles didn't pop. They were just trapped in there because of the detergent, and so they just bubbled up and got really big. Water doesn't react with the baking soda, so if you just poured water over your solutions, it would just wash away some of the foam without making any sizzling sound or bubbles or anything like that. So that's why we use the vinegar, because the vinegar creates the chemical reaction with the baking soda. Let me look in here. So the vinegar and the baking soda actually produced carbon dioxide, which is the chemical that we breathe out. So when you breathe in oxygen. When you breathe out, you're exhaling carbon dioxide. That's what the vinegar and the baking soda created as they reacted. Soaps are actually surfactants, so they're called surface active agents. They reduce the surface tension of the liquid. So that is why the bubbles were able to spread out and fill up the container and not pop. The bubbles rising to the surface, they push through and escape when you just use no soap. But when you added the soap, gave it the detergent, which was the surfactant, and that allowed them to spread out, bubble up, and make that amazing foam, which I kind of want to do it again. I'll show you again. Watch, guys. We're in here. See how empty that is? You can see some water and liquid slushing around in there. And I'm going to pour vinegar, and it's not going to do it quite as good this time. But look how much foam there is in that now. Like, it bubbles way up. Pretty darn cool, if you ask me. You can try different liquids over this if you wanted to do it again. You could use lemon juice, pop, milk, and try to predict what happened, and then try to figure out, after you've done the experiment, why it happened the way it did. So that was our foaming fizzy snow for today. If you want to make your snow and play in it, absolutely, either solution is fine. They're just fun to play with them, and you can have fun melting them and making all kinds of crazy bubbles. Just make sure you're in a nice big bowl, so when you pour that vinegar in and the bubbles go everywhere, you don't make a huge mess all over your house. That's why I did this outside. So that is your Science from the Kitchen experiment for today, and I will see you guys next time.